Subscribe to my channel for more information.
So picture this. You just got your latest lab results back, and your cholesterol is high. But here's the thing. You feel totally, completely fine. You're living your life, no symptoms, nothing feels wrong. Well, let's get into why that exact feeling might be the most dangerous part of it all. I really want you to think about that for a second. Does that sound like you or maybe someone you know? Because that feeling of being perfectly healthy, well, that's the exact camouflage high cholesterol uses to get its dirty work done. You see, high cholesterol isn't something you feel, like a headache or a sore muscle. No, it's a silent construction project, or maybe more like a demolition project, happening inside your arteries. And it can go on for decades completely under the radar until the one day it suddenly isn't silent anymore. Okay, so to really understand the danger, we first have to understand the molecule itself. Because, cholesterol isn't born a villain. In fact, your body literally can't live without it. It's a classic story of a hero that can be pushed to do some very bad things. The crazy part is your body needs cholesterol for some of its most basic, most important jobs. It's the raw material for building your cell walls, for making critical hormones, and even for creating vitamin D from sunlight. It is quite literally one of the building blocks of you. And here's something that blows most people's minds. The vast majority of the cholesterol floating around in your blood, it's not from the burger or the cheese you ate. A whopping 80% of it is made right inside your own body, by your liver. That tells you right away that managing cholesterol isn't just about what you eat. It's about how your body itself is running. So, if cholesterol isn't the real problem, what is? Well, it all comes down to the transportation system. I want you to think of it like this. You've got LDL particles, which are like delivery trucks. Their job is to take cholesterol from the liver and deliver it to your cells. Then you have HDL particles. They're the garbage trucks. They go around, collect any extra unused cholesterol, and haul it back to the liver to be thrown out. The trouble begins when you have way too many delivery trucks on the road and not enough garbage trucks to clean up the mess. All right, so you have this traffic jam of delivery trucks. How does that turn into a real problem? Well, it's not a sudden event. This is a slow, methodical process of damage that can start when you're in your 20s or 30s and just keep on going silently for pretty much your whole life. Now, the official scientific name for this whole process is atherosclerosis. Fancy word, but all it really means is the hardening and narrowing of your arteries. And the most crucial thing to get, the thing I really want you to hear, is the timeline. The damage that's happening inside your arteries today might not actually cause a symptom until 20, 30, or even 40 years from now. So how does one of these little delivery trucks, an LDL particle, actually build a wall inside your artery? It happens in 4 basic steps. First, the LDL trucks infiltrate. They basically squeeze their way into the lining of your artery. This triggers step 2, inflammation. Your body's immune system sees these LDL particles as invaders and sounds the alarm. That leads to step 3, foam cell formation, where these immune cells literally eat so much cholesterol they get bloated and stuck in the artery wall. And finally, step 4, all these gunked up foam cells pile up, creating a bigger and bigger plaque. Now, this next part is so important. You would think that the biggest plaques, the ones that narrow the artery the most, would be the most dangerous ones. But that's not what the science shows. The real killers are the unstable plaques. They have this very thin, fragile cap, covering a big, soft, gooey, fatty core. So don't think of it like a simple clog in a pipe. Think of it more like a volatile volcano, just sitting there with a thin crust waiting to erupt. And that eruption, that's the breaking point. That's the exact moment this quiet, chronic process explodes into a full-blown life or death emergency. The instant that thin cap on the plaque tears open, the body's emergency response system goes into hyperdrive. We're talking lightning fast. Within seconds, platelets, your blood's first responders, swarm the site to plug what they see as an injury. This kicks off a chain reaction that forms a blood clot right on top of that ruptured plaque. And in less than a single minute, that clot can grow big enough to completely, 100% block the artery. And here is the statistic you absolutely have to remember. Over 95% of heart attacks aren't caused by that slow, gradual clogging of an artery. They are caused by this exact event, the sudden formation of a blood clot on top of one of these ruptured plaques. And the moment that clot seals the artery shut, any heart muscle downstream is starved of oxygen and blood. It starts to suffocate. Within just a few minutes, those heart muscle cells begin to die. And that damage, it's irreversible. That is a heart attack. Okay, I know that was the really bad news. It sounds terrifying, but here's the good news, and it's actually really, really good news. For most of us, this entire process is something we have a significant amount of control over. So let's talk about the game plan. First up, let's stop fueling those bad delivery trucks. The science is pretty clear on the big culprits that tend to raise our LDL. We're talking about sugary drinks that just overload the liver, refined grains like white bread and white rice, and of course, those industrial trans fats you find in a lot of ultra-processed foods. And at the same time, we've got to hire more of those good garbage trucks, right? We need to boost our HDL. And the best evidence points towards a Mediterranean style of eating. That means focusing on things like healthy fats from olive oil and fatty fish, lots of fiber from beans and lentils, and just a huge variety of vegetables and whole grains. Now, beyond what's on your plate, exercise is an incredibly powerful tool. The magic number you'll hear over and over from doctors is 150. That's 150 minutes of moderate activity a week. And look, that's just 30 minutes 5 days a week. It's totally doable, and it really helps raise your HDL garbage trucks and lower those LDL delivery trucks. Now, for many people, especially if there's a strong genetic risk, lifestyle changes alone just can't get the job done. And that's where medications like statins can be a game changer. Their main job is to basically go to your liver and say, hey, calm down, make fewer of these LDL delivery trucks. It's a very direct way to lower your risk. So, what this all boils down to is that you have to understand your personal risk. A single cholesterol number on a lab report, it just doesn't tell the whole story. You've got to see the complete picture to protect your future. And that means having a really honest conversation with your doctor about all the key risk factors. Things like a family history of heart disease, whether you smoke, if you have high blood pressure or diabetes. All of these are massive risk multipliers. For example, having high cholesterol when you're a smoker is way, way more dangerous than just having high cholesterol on its own. And all of this leaves us with one final big question. Your genes, they might have written the first chapter of this story. You could say they loaded the gun. But for most of us, it's our daily habits that actually pull the trigger. So the end of that silent story being written inside your arteries, well, in large part, you're the one holding the pen.
Subscribe to my channel for more information.